and welcome back to Bourbon Barrel Talk. I'm your host, Scott Minton. Today we are sitting down, I'm going to say at the Bourbon Bunker. We are hanging out with Mr. Travis Hill, Matt, DJ Jazzy Jaznoff, and John Wadell from Peerless. How we doing today, fellas?
Pretty good.
You nailed the last name. I like it.
Yeah.
I know.
I know. I really wanted to correct you on it. And,
I did too.
Like, we were all waiting here like vultures. Like, say it wrong.
You
say
just
it wrong.
keep waiting. Yeah, I was proudly the voice of the Jaguars, and I've said probably at least 20,000 last names in my career.
If anyone's counting, this is Scott's 768th reference to being the voice of the Jaguars throughout the life of the podcast.
Probably is. I don't know. Who knows? Listen, we always go back to the fact that I've got a voice for radio, and that's it.
We know.
And
So,
Matt
hey.
has a face for radio.
It's the best.
That's
As
right.
do I.
So, as we were going to talk about this episode,
What are we talking about?
we're going to talk about
What are
the
we talking
Louisville
about?
bourbon scene.
I'm sorry,
and the
what?
resurgence.
What did you call it?
The Louisville bourbon scene.
What's wrong with
Oh,
you?
my bad. Louisville.
There we go.
Indiana
Say it
people.
right.
Indiana people.
It just. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
get it right.
You're right. It's Louisville.
Yeah. We'll throw batteries at you next.
Louisville. You got to draw it out there. Louisville. So anyway, the Louisville bourbon scene and how things have changed over the last, we'll just say 5 years.
So
'Cause, I mean,
where
it's
are we
drastic.
right now?
I would say
We
we're
are-
in the resurgence, right?
We are downtown. We are on Market Street, right
Well,
downtown,
physically.
near the arena. You don't get more central than this. That's where we are talking to you right now. So there is a lot going on around us here. Nulu, downtown, Germantown, Butchertown. You've got the Highlands, Phoenix Hill, all that area, all the way down Bardstown Road. But talk about all the distilleries here, Main Street, all the way down to Peerless, kind of at the outskirts there. John's here representing Peerless. But man, there is a lot of stuff to do down here. So I'm kind of interested to see what, you guys, what you kind of go to if you had the night free. What would you do? Matt.
Oh, the night free. Well, okay. So
So some fantasy world where you had the night free.
Matt's got two new kids
I don't know
for
what
those
that's
people who
like.
don't know what that is.
know what a night's like in 2 years.
I got a free night? What?
I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later.
Can I just take a nap?
Can I just watch the basketball game? I just want to watch one March Madness game uninterrupted.
Besides your couch, where would you go?
You have a pretty comfy couch as well.
He's sitting on my couch.
I am sitting on Travis's couch. It's very comfortable. So that's a really good question because there has been a tremendous resurgence in downtown Louisville. And since I've lived here in the past 13 years, I mean, it's grown significantly in a place that, I would like to say that we both visit a lot. And John, you were just there the other day. Scott's not cool enough to be invited by any one of the three of us. But the Thoroughbred Society, I think, is probably one of the most prominent places to hang out.
I thought you were going to say the
downtown.
Thoroughbred
man.
Lounge.
That's
That
after
too.
the Thoroughbred Society. We go to the Thoroughbred Lounge. Don't Google the wrong place. It'll take you there, and it's very awkward.
Two totally different experiences.
Definitely the
Yeah.
Thoroughbred Society
Yeah,
is what
if you
Matt is
put
talking
the
about.
Thoroughbred Lounge in your Uber, it's just a bad time.
Thoroughbred Society is
It
where you want to
depends
go.
on what type of environment you like.
No, it's
It
still
could
a
be
bad time.
That could be a good time for anybody that wants to be a good time, man. Yeah.
Only after 2 a.m. does it become a good time.
And you're drunk.
Yeah,
really
yeah.
drunk.
So
But you have to throw a disclaimer on this because it's not open to the public.
correct, it's not. It is membership only, but you do get to go there once or twice before they kick you out for not being a member. But it's
4 times.
4 times.
I'm a member, but I found that out.
But I think it's like
Hard
it's a
way or
fun-
the easy way?
right, the hard way.
Hard way, but not for me. Bringing guests, so like you can't bring him in anymore.
Then he showed up with a barrel of whiskey and be like, "Hey guys, this is what I do for a living." So I think places like that are really starting. The reason I made that reference is those places are making a resurgence down here. There's a lot of cocktail lounges, kind of upscale bourbon bars, and types of restaurants that are really coming to the downtown area that are really attracting not only visitors but locals to come from the outskirts, right? So I think places like that are starting to come up. I mean, you've got the Thoroughbred Society, you've got Hell or High Water, which is another speakeasy. I mean, you could even do Sidebar. They've got an
Love
okay bourbon
Sidebar.
selection. Okay bourbon selection.
They have a
great
massive
bourbon selection. I love it.
of bourbon, yeah.
Sarcasm doesn't go very well on the radio.
I think it did. That was just me. I missed
It's
it.
fair. And then, Merle's has a great whiskey selection as well. And then, in that little triangle of those three speakeasy type cocktail restaurants. You've got all other kinds of upscale restaurants, distilleries even, that you can go visit in the meantime. So it's really just an all around. You just gotta love day drinking. That's all it comes down to.
You're talking about basically a 1 block area where you have Hell or High Water, Sidebar, Troll Pub, Docks, Merle's, O'Shea's, Repeal, Moxie. You got the new comedy club across the street.
Yeah, you can Barfetti.
Expo. I'm just talking on that 1 block. I mean, right by the stadium there. I just named like 8 places you can go have a drink, plus the backside, which was the German place right by Moxie. I mean, that's a whole day right there. I mean, that's crazy. Just right
to be there in the
in
morning.
1 block.
I don't think I've been to Moxie.
Moxie's cool.
Oh, it's great.
No, you have been to Moxie.
They got the zombie tacos. Man.
Repeal.
Oh, Repeal.
Behind
Yeah.
Repeal.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I've been to Repeal.
Moxie's
Zombie
the
taco.
hotel.
Gotcha.
Where it's
That's a
Moxie.
cool ass place if you're roaming around Louisville. If you're from out of town, go to the Moxie, eat some zombie tacos, play some Jenga, foosball, whatever the hell you want. There's plenty of places to stumble around there.
And
That's a
I'll be
great
honest
spot.
with you. I mean, I think Repeal is probably one of the best steakhouses in Louisville as well.
Yep.
Agree. Everyone always thinks like Morton's or like
these
Jack
are
Fry's. Them are all phenomenal places, but you got Repeal here, man. Like we have more, which is the great thing about Louisville. It's not about your chain restaurants. I mean, obviously we have our chain restaurants, but like we have Chef Lee here. You know, like we have some phenomenal restaurants outside of your chain stuff, which I think is one of the best things about downtown Louisville. You can spend 2 weeks here and still not hit every great place there is to see here in Louisville if you eat.
I've tried to do it in 5 years and I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I mean, there's always something popping up. I mean, it's just it's phenomenal. But yeah, Repeal,
It's awesome.
great
Love
steakhouse,
that place.
man. Yeah.
Make a reservation way in advance.
Or
Yeah.
know someone who likes to make restaurants.
Right.
And then
Or
you
that.
know, north of Bourbon. I mean, my God, I mean, what a great place that just opened up here recently.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a little bit of a hike from downtown,
Yeah.
I would call it.
I think
right,
it's
10?
close enough.
It's 8 minutes. You know, the
Is
thing.
it 8?
the
Oh, is it only 8 minutes?
We think about
Yeah.
Travis location.
It's 8
Travis
minutes.
is I mean, Travis lives right here in downtown. I'm kind of jealous, but at the same time, I'm kind of
In
not
case anyone wants to know where Travis lives.
No, I live
But-
downtown.
Yeah, but downtown's pretty big. But I mean, I live
The address
outside.
is-
I live about 30 minutes from the city, right? Whereas Travis lives right down here in the mix. Travis is literally 10 minutes from almost anything. If you're a bourbon enthusiast, bourbon lover, whiskey, food, cocktail connoisseur, he can literally get anywhere in the city from 10 to 15 minutes. And not only that,
On a
that's
scooter.
right. Whereas like
On a
I
bird.
Yeah.
have to like plan out my day. Whereas Travis, man, he's in the middle of everything. So I mean, he could literally. I would be jealous. Like I would visit 6 places every night if I lived here in Travis. Like, well, I gotta stop
I'd do
here.
it.
I gotta stop
What,
here.
I gotta drink
I gotta
here?
stop here. Yeah, I gotta go over here for this appetizer. I gotta go here for this cocktail. So
have a rolling tab at these 5 bars. Be like,
Oh,
I'll be
man.
back on Friday.
Yeah, I mean-
you know I'll be here.
you know, and I'm a local, born and raised here in Louisville. But I mean, Travis literally has one of the best locations here in downtown Louisville.
And a very comfy couch.
You start
100%.
And about LTS, you know, thinking about LTS, they have this private cigar bar. Kentucky, you
best.
can't smoke
The
inside,
best.
right? But being a private club, they're able to have, you know, certain rules and regulations, but they have an indoor cigar bar. And if you're a cigar lover and a whiskey lover, that makes every difference to you. Being able to sit inside in the
Yep.
warm,
It's
watch
tough to beat
TV, watch basketball, bet on horse racing, and have a cigar and a good pour.
Look, I agree with everything you said, although being warm is super relevant because there's no heater in there.
You know, I'm always still warm. That's better than standing out in the freezing cold.
No,
and
I
rain
agree.
to
It's
me.
just it's funny. Like we went there when it was snowing. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have a cigar. Like, why not? It was like 30 degrees in there. I'm still dedicated, but this sucks.
You know, I love their concept, and it's a great little thing. They got like a roulette table,
Yeah.
and
And they have a craps table.
for recreational use
use
only.
I haven't
So
never
that-
seen that used, but it's good to know it's there.
For like private events, they'll have like a dealer come in. Everything's using air quotes. I know, again, nobody can see that, but
So besides the one private club in the city, what else is there?
I mean, we named a ton of them. I mean, if you want, if
So
you,
we can't forget about House of Bourbon, Justin's House of Bourbon.
No.
Great. Silver Dollar, man. Susie over there that runs Silver Dollar.
Dude,
they
Silver
are
Dollar.
They do a great job.
Before bourbon ever took off, I mean, Silver Dollar was a known place to go for barrel picks because they had a package license. They could sell their barrel picks. She has a fantastic palate.
Food's
and the
good.
Food's good,
Yep.
and they do industry. Like she's all about the people, as I like to say. Man, she cares about the industry. They care about what the people want, what they think.
Yeah.
And they're never that like mainstream.
You know what's cool to grab a drink at is 8 Up.
So we're jumping around a little bit. I almost feel like we should do it by like area because we totally skipped over Nulu.
All right.
We'll get there.
How about I do the perfect day in Louisville? Like if you're coming to Louisville for one
Stop
day.
calling
Ooh,
it
I wanna
Louisville.
hear this.
Sorry, Louisville.
I want to hear this perfect day.
So the perfect day would be I would start my day at Biscuit Belly. I would get a biscuit.
Okay.
Get me some fried
So you
chicken
don't
and
have
biscuit.
to eat for the rest of the day, right?
Well, no, you just got to prime the pump, right? You got to get ready for all the drinking you're about to do. So then I would probably head to one of the distilleries.
We're not
to
a
hit
health.
tour.
We're not a health conscious.
No,
town.
not at all. I mean, look at me. I'm 300 pounds. I mean, shit. I'm definitely not health conscious here. So then I would probably head to one of the distilleries, So I would start my day at Old Forester because probably history and heritage, that's probably the biggest and the most well-known. Then I would probably grab lunch at Doc Crow's or like a midday snack to at least try some of I'd say they probably have the most extensive bourbon selection. Fair enough.
Next door at the bourbon
Yeah,
bar.
next door at
but
the
be
bourbon bar.
prepared to pay for
Oh,
it.
you're going to pay out the nose. There's no doubt about it. So then I would say I would probably head to another distillery. Then I would probably pick one of the craft ones. So I would probably either go to Peerless or to Angel's Envy because I feel like they're probably a little bit better. Michter's is, I love Michter's, right? But there's not a whole lot to the distillery
little
tour.
small.
Yeah, it's a little small. So I would do that. Then I would go to probably a late lunch / dinner at either Repeal or at and you guys will probably make fun of me because it's kind of a chainy place, is Brasieros, because then I could get all you can eat steak or whatever at that point. But I think Repeal would be where I would probably go because you can get a good cocktail, great food, things to that nature. Then I would probably go to either the Pearl for a nice little drink because I like a dive bar. I like to be able to go into some place, sit down, have a couple of good drinks, and then I would finish the night probably at either North of Bourbon or what's the new place over there? Geez, my mind just totally went blank. Owen and them opened it.
Oh, neat.
Neat.
The
Yeah.
vintage bourbon bar.
The vintage bourbon bar to finish the night off. That's just me. I think that touches a lot of areas. It touches a lot of different spaces, and it gives you an opportunity to drink a lot of really cool things throughout the process. Mm-hmm. And a couple of really good meals.
And then you'll die for 3 days.
Oh,
and
you'd
wake
be
up.
completely smashed.
Yeah. Wake up, realize you need to get paid again, and
It's all about the neighborhoods, though, and moving from neighborhood to neighborhood in an efficient manner. You want to go to Nulu, Taj Bar, West 6,
Love Taj.
Evergreen, Liquors,
Agave and Rye, the tacos.
If you start to get off of Nulu and you want to move down, you can do Agave and Rye and then Prohibition Craft Spirits, and then kind of moving down, you've got Bardstown Road, ton of great restaurants. Neat is for bourbon drinkers is kind of the one main attraction there. That place is incredible. There's not really anybody doing what they're doing. You're gonna get all your Dusties, your Pre-Fire Heaven Hill, and stuff like that for a very good price, considering what those bottles sell for. And then you you move from there to Germantown. You've got the Pearl, which is associated with Silver Dollar. You've got Monarch. I know we all drink bourbon, but we all drink plenty of beer.
there's great
Oh,
breweries.
100%.
So many good breweries. Atrium, North of Bourbon. I can't recommend that place
1020.
enough.
You could stop in at
But
Morse's Deli.
1020s isn't Butchertown. You're
Atrium's
jumping
the
around
best
too
brewery
much.
Oh,
in
yeah,
Louisville, in my
right.
opinion. Like, if you love a good sour or if
So
you like
good.
those milkshake IPAs, when I went to the Tailspin Beer Festival, Atrium and was it Hopslopal or
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
over there off St. Matthews, two best breweries in town.
they're great breweries.
Yeah.
I mean, Monarch was. I mean, I really enjoyed Monarch as well.
Monarch's good, but I like their food better than I do the
Their
beer.
food
Love
is
their-
so
oh my
no,
God.
no disrespect to Monarch. Like, I
No.
love, like, we've even
They have
given
great
barrels. We've
food.
done some stuff. Did a Saison with the Peerless Barrel, but their food,
Well,
man.
that's good.
Well, I think their food just that good, where it's like the beer is good,
The
but
beer
food-
cheese they do with that spent grain bread, like, my God, like gluttony. Like, I'm gonna eat. If you let me sit there and just keep ordering, I will.
Are we going
Monarch's-
there now?
Monarch's
Yeah.
where you get drunk and like you're like, all right, we're a good beer drunk. All right, let's go to Monarch and get food. Like
Yep.
that's where you go. And I'm going to Monica and get food, so I'll see y'all later.
And their cocktail program, like a lot of people go to these
Please leave.
breweries and expect like beer, but that's the thing about these breweries now. Like some of them even have great cocktails. Like they're still focused on the whiskey and bourbon. Are you leaving?
He is. He's stepping
Piecing
out.
out in the middle of the podcast. Can you even get out?
He'll get out. The question is, can he find his way
He's good at
downstairs?
getting out. He knows how to escape.
Obviously not. He's got 2 kids, married.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to. He knows how to get out, not pull out.
I chose my words very carefully there. We're gonna edit this out, I guess.
No, probably won't.
No, you can't just. Your absence would be
Yeah.
obvious.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder, Matt Jasnoff.
Sorry, guys. I appreciate it.
Take it easy, brother.
Later, man. Good meeting you.
Likewise.
So,
Good. I'm glad he's gone.
Let him hear this later.
absolutely. So there's just so much going on in the Louisville bourbon scene. It's just it's insane. And Travis, you really elaborated to the fact that like literally in a 10-block radius. I mean, you could spend 2 or 3 days in the 10-day radius and not do everything, and which is just insane when you really sit back and think about it. And then when you get to the greater Louisville section, I mean, even outside of going to New Lou and then St. Matthews, and there's just so much stuff going on. With the food scene that's tied to bourbon and other things to that nature. It's just, it's really crazy when you sit back and think about it.
I really got to just touch on North of Bourbon really fast because those are my boys. I love that place. I
Still
think
not
it's
been
one
there.
of the
Will you
best.
take me?
We'll go right now.
You can go right now after this. Yeah.
Let's
it's a
please
great
go
place.
right now. It is one of the best places in the city. They have a incredible bourbon selection. I help curate it, so they've pretty much got it all. Old stuff, new stuff, tons of barrel picks. Really hit the barrel picks hard. The food and the cocktails are what's important. Now, look, we are all bourbon drinkers, but cocktails are very important, and food is very important. Beer is very important. We don't just drink bourbon.
Right.
If you're only drinking bourbon, you gotta add to the mix here.
Yep.
So go to North of Bourbon because the food there will blow you away. The atmosphere, the people. Go after 10 o'clock. As soon as 10 o'clock hits, they switch to 90s hip hop. Like, it's a vibe. It's awesome. But the food, none of their ingredients come from the distributors. They don't come from Cisco. Everything is locally sourced. It's from local farms. The po' boy, they fly the bread in from New Orleans. It's not just random bread. The shrimp that they get is shrimp that you have to go way out into deep water to get that no one else uses. Like that, they use these crazy ingredients. Their food is amazing, and the vibe is awesome. It's small. It's in Germantown. A lot of cool places close by. It's not downtown, but I highly recommend going there.
Yeah, he's got me almost sold. I'm gonna have to go.
A lot of people come to Louisville, and we have a lot of places that
They're not
have
open
seafood
today.
or oysters, right? The great thing that I don't think a lot of people realize about Louisville is, we were kind of talking a little bit about this earlier off air, is that we have UPS's main hub here. So, I mean, our seafood comes in daily fresh. And as Travis was saying about the po' boy that North of Bourbon does, oh my God, man.
Yep.
I had that. And like I said, I could have ate probably about 2 or 3 of those and put them back. And their chef, amazing. Their cocktails, amazing. Like, they put a lot of thought and things like that into it. Hence why they, Travis being a consultant on their whiskey and bourbon collection, they have a great selection there. And like I said, the food, everything's fantastic, and it's definitely a great place to stop in and see if you're in Louisville. I mean, it's definitely on the must stop in list because everything
Must
is like
see.
New Orleans theme, like all their stuff's like Cajun. They have beignets. As far as I know, it's the only place in Louisville you can get beignets at.
Do you have to be
These are
21 to get in
fucking
there?
good beignets. Sorry about
Yeah.
that, but
No,
these
it's okay.
beignets are amazing.
Yeah, there's no other place in Louisville I know that does beignets.
Right.
You don't have to be 21. I don't know about after
Probably
like
after
10
6 or 8 or 10 or
whatever. But I
something,
mean,
yeah.
I think you can go in. It's just a restaurant and
Yeah.
it's just a restaurant.
As
Just
long as
a
their-
restaurant
as
with
long
an
as their
amazing
kitchen's
bourbon
open,
selection.
as long as their kitchen's open, you can go in.
Gotcha.
If you're
Okay.
not 21, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just kinda
They
curious.
stay open late on like Friday and Saturday. Again, we're sitting here. It's Monday night. They're not open on Monday, Sunday or Monday, but
Mondays are always what they consider industry night, which is always why Silver Dollar is great because they're open. And
Right.
they host industry night for anybody that's bartender, anything like that. They have a local spirits or whoever sponsor industry night where they have that free swag, drink specials, all that kind of stuff.
Sometimes they do trivia, all
Yeah,
kinds of fun
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, no, for sure.
Sunday and Monday in Louisville is tough. It was really coming to life before COVID. Like 2 or 3 months before COVID, everybody was open Sunday and Mondays, and then when that hit, that was it.
And any brunch friends,
So we're getting there.
brunch people out, let me tell you, Louisville has one of the best brunch scenes
man.
you have ever seen in your life. Like if you go to brunch, there's not there's like a cult following. Each place has like a certain
Toast on Market. Just go to Nulu, but just
yeah,
be prepared to wait, but it's worth it.
So, dude, I don't want you guys to skip out Southern Indiana if you've not been there. One of the best brunches in the area is at the Red Yeti.
Tell them, let's
I've
go.
heard
It's
that.
not far away.
Yeah.
Dude, it's really literally
Right
right
over the
across
river?
right across the
Let's
Second
go.
Street Bridge. I mean,
I don't even know.
dude. But it is by far one of the best brunches I've ever had. Kathy Boyer's the owner over there. There's a guy named Mike Bowe is the chef. He's the head chef there, and I think he came from. What's the place, La Roulette or something like that? It's like the place that was right out by the airport, by the little airport, not the big airport, but it's like some kind of French cuisine place. But dude, Mike's got some of the best, chef chops, cooking chops ever. Their menu is just fanatically good. They've got like the shrimp and grits for one is just bar none, some of the best I've ever had. Two, they make like seasonal stuff, and everything is farm to table, like you were talking about from North. Like the Red Yeti was doing that, 6-7 years ago, where they were bringing in stuff, and literally they have their own meat market that comes in from like straight from trucks from Kentucky, where they bring in their own red meat, their own fish, their own. I mean, like literally everything is sourced within probably like a 60-mile radius of Louisville, which is insane. Right. So they do just some crazy good stuff, but their brunch is just to die for. I mean, it's just absolutely delicious.
We forget about that. You can walk right across the river.
No, 100%. You could go right across the Big Four Bridge is what they call it, right?
You can just walk over there.
And at the end of the Big Four Bridge is the Red Yeti. Literally, I mean, you just
I
walk
would just throw some bourbon in a red Solo cup, walk across, eat some brunch, and walk back.
Yeah,
Don't
you should
go
on
giving
Sunday
away.
for sure.
Don't go giving away all the secrets here.
I don't.
There's plenty of things I didn't mention.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, because we have a like I said, speaking of the walking bridge, we have waterfront Wednesdays here during the summer, so we have live music, and we're talking. I mean, we have some big. We had like My Morning Jacket.
Yep.
They had Dirty Heads, who I love.
Tame the Impala. I mean,
they had Nelly last year. I mean, you're talking about
Hound
90s
Mouth.
hip hop, late early
Erykah
2000s.
Badu, that was a disaster, but that's not her fault.
No.
Well, it kind of actually was her fault.
In Jeffersonville, they do the exact same thing, but it's on Friday nights. Like basically from the end of May, I think it's Memorial Day weekend. The Crashers usually open it up, which if anybody from Louisville knows the Crashers.
Like it.
So it's one of those things. It's but I mean, literally they have bands all summer long, every single Friday night, all the way until Labor Day.
Brunch on the waterfront is the new thing they're doing. I mean, it's crazy. There's so much stuff to do around here.
Polo matches. I mean, I got saw there was a polo match. Yeah, down River Road the other.
I'm sure there is.
So like
there's
horse
plenty
polo,
of space.
not like
there's
polo.
plenty of space.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm thinking polo like what I played in high school on the swim team.
No, with the horses.
You're thinking with the horses. So.
That's crazy.
There's a lot going on in Louisville. I think people just assume that it's bourbon, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but they think like horses, gravel roads,
Right.
It's just crazy that when people come here to Louisville, some people I didn't realize how big this city is. I'm like, yeah, man, we're pretty industrial. Like we got a lot of stuff here.
All right, I'm going to throw in 2 more plugs for Southern Indiana because most people don't kind of realize that they're that close.
I got to plug. I want people to be able to reach out to me to help them plan this. So
gotcha. No, 100%.
You do your Indiana stuff, and then I want to plug my...
No, 100%. So in Southern Indiana, I will say I feel like we have some of the best breweries. So we have Floyd County Brewing Company, which is in downtown New Albany. We have Donham Day, and then we have the New Albanian. All 3 of them are great breweries. You can get just tremendous stuff that they make themselves, plus they get stuff from all over the country and have it, there to prepare and to drink and enjoy and all that type of good stuff. And then the one other thing is, you're literally probably closer to Starlight Distillery than you are to Bardstown.
I'm glad you brought that up.
And I tell people all the time, and I know I'm going to sound like a complete fanboy, which I kind of am, but you really need to go up to Starlight. You need to go see the Huber family, Christian, Ted, Blake, Dana, the whole crew, and like they're just doing some special stuff up there. And the fact that it's 7 generations and they've been doing this for 100+ years. Everything from wine to good food to excellent, great bourbon and rye. You've got it all, and there's stuff for your kids to do even there.
And it's like 27 minutes from Yum Center, downtown Louisville. Like it's not far away.
Right, and then, like I said, it's probably closer than Bardstown. I mean,
it's absolutely closer. So, it's closer than Cox's Creek at Four Roses and Jim Beam almost.
Yeah. So, I mean, that being said, I mean, don't miss it. When you come to Louisville, plan a day to go to Southern Indiana. There's tons of stuff over there. You can enjoy it, and hell, if you want to, go to do that, and then when you're done, go to the boat, go to Caesars and gamble a little bit and have a little fun. Shit, I don't even care if you do that or not. But I'm just saying, there's lots of things to do in Southern Indiana, and it's literally all within a 30-minute ride of Louisville.
Yep. Yeah, this is the epicenter, man.
100%
Louisville.
Oh my God, that drives me nuts. So, so my problem is my wife always told me that Louisville was pronounced Louisville because it's named after King Louis. So for all these years of being married to my wife, even though I know it's Louisville because all the locals call it Louisville, I still hear my wife just bitching at me or yelling at me in the back of her head going, it's Louisville because it's named after King Louis the 13th or whatever that founded this city.
That's the way the world says it.
Right.
Louisville. That's fine. We're just giving you shit.
I know. But it's really hard. I mean, it's like anything. When you learn something, or especially when you've been like brainwashed by your wife, and I've been married to my wife for 20-something years, like she's always been like, it's Louisville, and I'm like, no, it's not. Everybody around here says Louisville, and like, so
I just remember
I know how to say it.
When I was moving here, I was like, how did the locals say it? They say Louisville, so I was like, all right, that's how you say it.
Just say it like you have marbles in your mouth.
Absolutely.
Or say it like you're drunk.
Yeah. Louisville.
Chewing tobacco.
Which we all are a lot of the times.
But I was like to make comparisons when you say Worcestershire, right? Like how, like,
right.
Does anyone ever get that? Like, what is the proper way to say that word?
Right. Oh, dude, and our coffee scene here is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
We have a great coffee scene here.
We do. I mean, you guys got a coffee brand, John, right?
Yeah. So I have a coffee company. It's called Stave and Bean. I specialize in barrel-aged coffee. But, I mean, I'm not going to lie. There's about 70 different brands out there. But I'll tell you one thing about these barrel-aged coffee companies. They're not doing it like Stave and Bean. There's only about 2 or 3 really popular ones that really kind of do anything. But, the great thing about Stave and Bean is I specialize in barrel-aged coffee. So it's not just bourbon and rye coffee barrels I'm doing. We're doing all different types of unique barrels. So I'm doing, orange curacao, rum, amaro. I've done cherries bitter barrels, peach bitters.
Peach bitters.
Cognac barrels.
Sounds great.
That sounds phenomenal.
All different types of stuff. And I'm not using just cheap old beans. We're using Sumatran, Ethiopian, New Guinea, Honduran, El Salvadorian, and the whole point around the coffee company, it was, whiskey, everyone takes it pretty seriously, right? Like you love your certain brands, you love certain things, but a lot of the barrel-aged coffee we're seeing were just, and I'm not knocking it, I'm just saying like they were just using, everyday cheap beans, put in barrels and say, hey, this is barrel-aged coffee beans, where, my goal was to recapture a lot of this unique flavor profile from the aromatics and flavor from these barrels, right? Because being a single barrel curator, I get to taste through hundreds of barrels a year. And a lot of times after we dump these barrels, when groups select them, they either go with the group so they can just become a decorative piece, or we send them back to the cooperages, and whatnot to go off and do other things. And I was thinking to myself, this all started kind of during COVID, like how do I recapture? How to recapture some of these aromatics and flavor, right, from these barrels? Because it was unique, right? Like we would release these single barrels at work that we would call like butterscotch brisket, right? Because it really did have unique butterscotch notes or flavor to them. And being a big coffee lover, it just kind of clicked one day down there during COVID. We had some free extra time. I was just kind of sitting around. I was looking at these coffee beans and barrels and doing some research and stuff to do. And I just started throwing coffee beans in barrels, right? So I was like, well, let me get, 150 pounds of these beans. I'm going to throw them in this single barrel that we just released up here at Peerless called, Brulee Manhattan. I'm going to see if I can capture some of these notes. And so I worked with a local coffee company here, Quills. Great coffee company, man. Like, seriously, like, there's a lot of good coffee companies here in Louisville, but let me tell you, Quills Coffee Company does an amazing job. Their attention to detail,
They're right on Main, right?
Yeah, right like 2 minutes from here, probably.
Right,
yeah.
Right outside of Nulu.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And they do cocktails and coffee, but the first place we went to that really let us work hands-on with them, like, let us develop our roast profiles. I mean, we do cupping sessions with them and all this other stuff. It wasn't just like, hey, here's some coffee beans, roast them for us. They were totally involved in what we were doing, helped us develop our product lines and things like that, and really pushed us to not just be a gimmick. And I don't want to say these other coffee companies are a gimmick or whatnot, but I mean, Stave and Bean, let me keep in mind, like, we have a huge e-commerce platform. We're in about 5 different Krogers. We're in restaurants, local bars, things like that. And that's because we care about the quality of it, right? Like, I'm selecting unique barrels and selecting unique coffee beans to put inside these barrels,
right,
to capture something truly unique and different. And for anybody that's a coffee lover or purist out there, please, if you reach out, john@staveandbean.com. Love to see some samples if you're curious about what we're doing. Like, it's not just a gimmick, run-of-the-mill barrel-aged coffee. I take pride, and so does my business partner, in what we do here. He lives in New Orleans, so we source the best coffee beans and put in. And not only do we barrel-age them, but I literally put these barrels back up in Kentucky rick houses, so they are aged with whiskey and bourbon too, right? They're not just going to sit on a cafe floor somewhere. Like, it's the whole experience that comes along with it,
right?
And they're going to send it right to your door.
Yeah, free shipping. We ship. We have an e-commerce. We'll send everything right to you, or you can come down to Kentucky Peerless. Like I said, we're in a lot of other local restaurants around town. If you go in, I'll say we're in North of Bourbon. We're in LTS, Barn 8. And Kroger's too as well.
Hot dang, that's a lot. So I big fan of what you're doing out there. And then, like, there's Heinie Brothers, which is a local coffee. I think they do fair trade is kind of their big thing.
Yeah.
And like you said, Quills does amazing stuff. There's a few places in Southern Indiana. You got Coffee Crossing, Starlight, which is they do their own roasting, do some great stuff over there. There's just so much, and I know this is kind of turned into 5 different ways of Louisville and Louisville and everything else and what's going on, but there really is just a ton happening here. Travis, I mean,
it all revolves around the bourbon scene, though.
Yeah, 100%.
That's where it emanates from. So,
and whiskey and coffee go great together. If you're
that's how I'm going to start my day off after I drink a lot of
Bourbon
bourbon.
cream.
I'm
Bourbon
going
cream.
to drink coffee the next morning to get me going.
When I was looking at a business start during COVID, right? Because I knew I went starting, and looking at different statistics, things like that, over 79% of Americans drink coffee in the morning, right?
Yeah.
So think about it. I mean, and here in Louisville, we have a big coffee scene, but there was no barrel-aged coffee happening. So, I mean, it's a great... The only downfall of coffee is the coffee market fluctuates like crazy. So you never know. You could pay $1.80 a pound one week and pay $3.20 the next week. I mean, it just... or a month. It just
it's
depends.
a commodity. I mean,
yeah, and it all depends on the harvest from year to year. So that's the only thing is coffee market's a little unpredictable, but at the same time, think about it. I don't start my day. I don't leave my house until I've had a couple cups of coffee.
But you're gonna give them high quality at the best price and right to your door.
Exactly.
We need to get him in touch with Christian at Starlight and see if we can't get him one of those Brazilian Ambriana or the VDN barrels.
Fire idea.
And my business partner, he lives in New Orleans, like a huge coffee.
Have you
port,
been
right?
up to Starlight?
I haven't. I need to
right.
get there.
Right.
It's like
This is the trip.
You're like the fifth person that's told me about
I
Starlight.
just went.
I need to. Yeah.
Was that yesterday?
Yeah.
It was yesterday.
Yesterday, day before.
Anyways, we're wrapping this up. I'm taking control.
All right. So if
for-
people
for-
want to come to
for
Louisville,
Matt.
if people want to come to
And
Louisville
Scott.
and do fun stuff, I'm going to hand it over to Travis, Mr. Teach Bourbon himself. What do you want to do with them, man?
Yeah, no, if you have any questions, if I can help you out at all, I'm right in the thick of it here. So email me, travis@teachbourbon.com. I have the social media. I don't keep up with it too much, but just reach out to me. Happy to educate and guide people on how to experience Louisville, because I love it, and I just want everyone else to love it too. So happy to help you guys out. Check out Peerless. Listen to Bourbon Barrel Talk. Scott, Matt, John. We got to plug anything else? Am I doing a good job?
Oh, you're doing perfectly fine. Make sure you check us out on social media, download the episodes, hit the subscribe button. This is all of us signing off from Bourbon Barrel Talk. Peace out.
Peace.